All right. So I don't know so much if this is like habits necessarily, but the way I like to think of this kind of stuff is that if I have a goal that I'm trying to get to, I don't want to just fixate on that goal. And I don't want to just fixate on uh, the outcome, right? What I want to do is work on the little things that help me build really good habits that ultimately help me get to that goal. Okay. That is what I like to focus on. So let's dig in. I want to look at a few things: the power of a morning routine. Okay. Nourishing your body, prioritizing mental wellness, avoiding binary or all or nothing thinking, building strong relationships, prioritizing mental wellness, getting adequate sleep, and then continuous learning and personal growth. I think if you're working on or eliminating or adding one of these 8 things, there's probably more. This is just what I pulled out. All right. Look at the power of a routine. So, routine is like something that you do every day, right? So, if you are working towards a goal, a big goal, a medium sized goal, whatever, you want to engineer things that you do daily, weekly, maybe monthly that get you towards that thing. For example, if you're trying to lose weight, a routine and a habit you can build would be making sure you're preparing where you're going to get your food from the next day, right? That seems pretty simple, but it's actually really hard to do. A lot of people meal prep, a lot of people order, pre-made meals, whatever it might be, but making sure that before you go to bed, you know where your food sources are going to be coming from the next day, right? So that you're not like hungry and you just decide to go buy McDonald's, right? Because that's you only have 20 minutes because you haven't planned. So that little routine of planning. So there's power in routines. Okay. There's power in building those habits. Um, Incredible power. Admiral William McRaven has a really famous YouTube thing. You can look him up on YouTube, but he talks about making your bed, make your bed to change your world. He even has a book, Make Your Bed to Change the World. Um, Making my bed correctly was not going to be an opportunity for praise. It was expected of me. It was my first task of the day. And doing it right was important. It demonstrated my discipline. It showed my attention to detail. And at the end of the day, it would be a reminder that I'd done something well, something to be proud of, no matter how small the task. That's his quote from that book. So, something as simple as the routine of getting up and making your bed immediately helped get his goal setting or goal achieving engine going because it was the first thing that he did to start his morning habits. So maybe there's something for you. For him, it was making his bed, but maybe there's something for you that you can begin to engineer with. There's a lot of this morning routine stuff and a little history here. In my opinion, I remember it all kind of starting. It was I don't know, a decade ago or something. Benjamin Franklin uh, it came out, this like Benjamin Franklin's morning routine. That's the first I've heard of this stuff. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention until this point or whatever in the internet's sharing of cool stuff. But this is where I first started noticing these morning routine hacks and plans and things like that. Uh, Benjamin Franklin's known for early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. It's a little mantra. Mantras can help you remember things. And that's a pretty good one. It's a pretty fun one. Be at war with your vices, at peace with your neighbors, and let every new year find you a better man. The whole point is that he's continually working on his routine that is this framework for self improvement, right? It doesn't have to be complex. His is not honestly that complex, but it is a thing. Some other sources you can start to dig into are like these guys, like Huberman and Andrew Huberman and Tim Ferriss. They both have podcasts. Huberman's famous for his morning routine stuff. I'm not even going to dig in here. Um, Quote from him: "Time on social media first thing in the morning is probably the most poisonous activity that I could take part in. What is the amount of time it takes to get a really good workout? It's going to be about an hour, but a lot can be done in 45 or even 30 minutes." So just his quote there, it's a nice way to reframe how you start your morning. I don't know how many people out there where the first thing you do is look at your phone and you check like emails, work emails or messages or whatever, or even Facebook or whatever. That he's right. That's pretty poisonous. Personally, I try not to do that. I know that there might be some people messaging me because I coach a very early, a 5 a.m. and a 6 a.m. Class at my gym. And I know there might be people messaging me. So I do keep my phone sort of handy for messages, but I try not to check, the news and Facebook and stuff like that. It is pretty, it can get you in a weird place. And also, there's a lot of science on, how it affects your brain and things like that. And I just, I don't like anything that becomes sort of a vice. And regarding Tim Ferriss, mornings are very important to Tim Ferriss, though he gets up rather late. He starts his day about 10 a.m., whereas Superman claims he starts at about 5 or 6 a.m. Every morning starts with 20 minutes of transcendental meditation. He has a high protein breakfast and a hot cup of tea or coffee to kickstart his day. We'll talk a little bit about meditation in a bit. Transcendental meditation is a whole thing. You can go down an entire rabbit hole with all that stuff. Um, I'm sure, Tim Ferriss is just weird enough. Maybe, it helps him. I don't know. I don't have a lot of experience with transcendental meditation, although I do meditate myself. A decent practice, though, is to start your day with gratitude. And, by that, I mean just simply being thankful for whatever. And it could be with that cup of coffee that you just, you know, instead of looking at Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or answering or looking at a work email or your daily schedule for work, maybe the first thing that could help you is to sit down with that cup of tea or that cup of coffee or a big glass of water, whatever it is, and just reflect on how lucky you are that you're awake.